Hello, everybody. We are in the middle of summer trading as today was a pretty do-nothing day. The NASDAQ was down 0.25%, not a technical distribution day with lower volume. Same with the Russell 2000, down 0.56%. S&P 500 was also lower on lower volume, so once again, no distribution day there. The biggest positive, though, on the session is that we had an intraday reversal significantly off the lows in S&P 500 and NASDAQ and Russell 2000 decently. So overall, we continue to find support at the 200-day moving average of Russell 2000 while holding up in most indexes. The Dow Jones Transportation Average is also holding up. So everything right now is just more, choppy, sloppy trading action. There's some good, there's some bad. You take it all, and there you have the facts of this market. So it's really hard to really, look too much into it right now. It's August and September. Get ready for a whole lot of nothing. Intraday, EW hit half of my sell stops. I moved half of it to below these lows here. It hit it intraday, but now it's closing below the 20-day moving average on above average volume. So if you have not sold off 50%, you need to move your first sell stop to below today's low of day, 149.51. Also, HCKT is closing below the 50-day moving average, giving it an end of day 50% sell signal. I would go ahead and be looking probably to get rid of all of it if it moved below 1221. So if you're not already out of half of it, at least get out of half with the move below 1221. But I don't know. In my opinion, it shouldn't come back into the lows of here, 1182. So if this thing hits 1182, I would go ahead and get out of everything with HCKT. I've already been shaken out of my position with too tight of stops. What are you going to do? And HZMP is also 50% end of day sell. It's closing below the 20-day moving average. I know it's above the 50-day moving average, but it's closing below the intraday lows of 35.24 here, 35.25 here, closing at 35.17. So that's technically a 50% sell signal. So you can move that sell stop if you're not out of it, any of it already, to 34.66. And move below 34.66, you'll be out of half. And then no matter what, I would have the final sell stop on the books right back here to these lows right there. And then 100% end of day sales, MTLS already all out of it, so it's just house cleaning here. But it's closing below the 200-day moving average and above average volume. Speculative sell, but that's all gone. Speculative position, full sell. And then SIGM, if we would have gotten long on our end of day signal date without a gap up, I would still say hold it, and this is a 50% sell. But since, I didn't even get a long position because my 905 would have been my limit, and the next day it only got down to 927. But let's say you did get filled with a market order, you're filled at 980. This closed at 979, puts you basically at break even with a tiny loss. Volume is significantly higher than any of the previous sessions, so to me this chart is done. This is not a stock I'd want to be long. So SIGM is also a 100% sell signal. And while we have no new longs, there are some decent potential long positions out there. NDRM, pocket pivot point signals, it breaks out to a new high. Earnings are on the 6th, so there's not enough time to get the long this stock and know that we're completely wrong with the move below the 1819 level before earnings and a possible gap down. Don't think this will happen based on what I see, back here in this play, and then the gap up here. I just don't see it in the gap up here. It's not really a gap down stock, but BOP was going the other way. I might do 0.50% of my account capital, put 4 figures into it, but I don't think it's worth it with earnings coming up and BOP going the wrong way, so I'll pass. FCSC, similar situation, nice chart, but if you can look on an arithmetic, pretty short consolidation pattern. 20-day moving average isn't even touching the lower end of the intraday price range, so not really into something like that with such a short base. But earnings are also on the 6th, so it's all kind of a moot point anyway. And then CALM is probably the best stock I'm watching. CanSim quality stock, pre-perfect speculator, scan stock. If today's move would have had it close above 55.50, let's say it would have closed at 55.51, we would be long CALM because it's a perfect speculator, scan quality stock, and a CanSim quality stock. But besides those three, there are no new long positions. I mean, those are the only ones I was considering. SkyW has got an excellent follow-through to its earnings win, so I will continue to watch SkyW. I would like to see it consolidate sideways for at least 5 days and then maybe give me a pocket pivot point signal or a heavier value move with max green BOP. I'm not sure, but this one at least interests me, I must say. And then RNG is also another higher quality stock that I see acting well post-earnings, so that's good news. But tonight, still, just to prove that it's mixed out there, COLM looked like an earnings winner. The very next session, not so much. So we still have some pretty mixed action out there, and that's why we do continue to get some end-of-day short signals. I think it's best to look at it this way. This is kind of what I'm looking for in all my short sell positions. The only problem is from these lows to where it's at now, it's only up 100%. If this moved from like $1 to $6, $7, $8, and then it had this pattern, I would definitely be taking it as an end-of-day short. But similar to iTech, iTech from the lows to where it went up in the highs, 244%. I should be shorting that, but even that wasn't crazy enough for me to short. And of course, it's cost me because now since ITEK's short position, it's now down 25%. That would have been a nice 25% gain in 5 sessions. I'll take that any day. But GIG is probably the best technical setup out of any position tonight, and it's a short sale setup. There's like 200,000 plus shares available at Interactive Brokers. It's the only one I checked. But overall, it looks pretty good. So, it is a potential end-of-day short pattern. What you want to do is make sure your limits are at 231 and 259 would be your buy stop on GIG. For me, I'm not taking it because it's not up enough in a short enough amount of time. I mean, you even saw how quickly iTech was up. I mean, we only had to go back to July or the end of June to get that 100% measured move on GIG. We got to go all the way back to March. So it's not necessarily the ideal short sale.